Have you ever wondered who's got the best plugs, sockets, and the best and the worst, that means the most expensive, electricity on the planet? Well, I've done a lot of research and you won't believe who's best and who's the worst. So let's have a look at the video and find out. If you'd like to leave a comment, please do so below and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more. So first of all, volts, amps and watts. Volts is the pressure of electricity. The higher the number, the higher the pressure, the worse the appliance is. Amps is the way it flows through the wires. So again, the higher the number, the worse the appliance is. And watts is how much that appliance uses. The higher the number, the more we pay. So let's have a look at which plug. So first of all, we've got the Type A and B used in USA, Canada and Mexico. Then there's Type F across Europe, and then finally Type G, which is used in the UK and a couple of other places. But basically they're the three that we're going to use because we've got a couple of dozen dotted all over the planet. Next, let's have a look at the population. So who actually uses this amount of sockets? So obviously we're going to have the USA using the most, and that's joined up with Canada and Mexico. So altogether there's 502 approximately million people. In Europe 450 and in the UK 68. So we can see the big boys in the planet. That's the Americas, north and south as it were. They've got the most popular, so therefore they're going to have trillions of sockets. Another factor we need to look into is which is best. Is it 60 Hertz or 50 Hertz? Well, Hertz is really the number of time it flashes per second, invented by a chap called Mr. Hertz. So is it 60 or is it 50? So we can see obviously 50 is more popular because it occupies most of the planet. The next thing we're going to have a look at is which is the cheapest. Is it the region which uses 120 240 or 240 to 220? So therefore we can see that the 120 Americas are cheaper because it's half price. Remember, volts is pressure. So let's have a look at the plugs they use. So here we have the American plug, which is very dinky, two types, with or without an earth. Here's the Euro plug, and that's used across from Poland to Portugal, and then the UK plug. So therefore, obviously UK plug's going to be the least popular on the planet. And also, we've got switches. Nowhere else on the planet do we have switches. I can't understand what they're for because nobody else has a problem. But anyway, we're lucky. We've got some really clever people that said we need a socket, not like our European neighbours, but something completely new and alien, which came out in the 1970s. So thanks for watching that little bit. But don't forget that we make a couple of really good books, our wiring book and our fault finding book. Please subscribe to this channel and like, because I've got more videos coming on this way. So let's have a look at a couple of videos I made over there a few years ago.
This is a typical 2-pin American plug. And you may just notice that if I swing it around, this end is three-sided. But this side has got a bulge. Can you see? So when we go to the socket, there's one long and one short. So if I zoom out and try and put this in this way round, it fits perfectly. But if I take it out and try and put it in the other way round, it doesn't. It will not fit at all. Now, isn't that clever? And obviously the bit on the top is an earth, just in case. And if we look along here on the label, it quite clearly states 120 volts, 60 Hertz, 7 amps. That's huge. You can put a kettle into here, almost, because the kettle is only 3 amps. But half price or less electricity, because volts equal pressure. So therefore, in hotels and lots of houses, they have 120 volts for all the minor appliances, telly, chargers and all that lot, and then they have two 40 volts for the washing machines and the tumble dryers and the air conditioning. Isn't that clever and intelligent? If an appliance, and this is a typical hotel coffee maker, hot water maker, because it has a heating element as such, it has to have an earth. But that's fine, that's not a problem. And then when we pick it up and we put it into the socket, it only goes in one way. Can't go in another way at all. You can go here, you see? But you can't put it upside down because obviously there's no earth there. So this is a really good, intelligent way. This particular kettle is only a couple of 100 watts. I think if I remember rightly, it's only 600 watts and a lot less amps than the UK one. So immediately these kettles are much cheaper and better to run than anything else in the UK. In this particular hotel, the Best Western on the Strip, right next to Harrods and the Venetian, we get this fantastic coffee making machine, and you can see here on this side you got tea, then you've got regular coffee and decaf coffee, and of course you can just boil up water if you've brought your own tea bags, which is highly recommended. Not every hotel on the Strip allows you to make coffee. As I've said on other videos, most of them have ripped them out because they want you to go down to the restaurant and pay $20 to $30 for coffee and biscuits or cake or whatever, per person of course. So always check before you book. Look at the amenities that you get with the room, whether you are allowed to have a coffee machine or not, or any other appliance, because they have very strict rules. And if they've got a fridge and it's loaded with food and drink, do not touch any of them, because they all, or maybe 99.99%, they will be having a sensor. You just move it, you'll get a bill, and you will not like the prices. So if there is a fridge with stuff, leave it alone, tape it up, don't touch it. If there is a normal empty fridge, obviously we can use that and put our milk in and make our coffees. But this system is disappearing fast on the Strip because they need the money and they can make you a better offer. One thing you'll notice in America and across Europe, there are no switches. They don't bother with the switch. Only the UK has one. I don't know why, because it's not necessary. And there's trillions of sockets in America, Canada, across Europe. Not one has got a switch. Only the lucky British.